Hello guys, welcome back to another SciCraft episode. So today we're gonna start at the creeper farm perimeter again to check out the progress on the walls. This has been running the last couple days. One side is already finished. The moment my second account is still placing blocks there and they get pushed along with the conveyor belts. I would say we just follow it all the way. So it has been running for roughly a week, maybe 6 days. We had some issues with the system as well. At some point made a mistake with one conveyor belt and then I ran it the whole night basically for nothing. I lost a ton of items in the process, but now we're back on track and it's running again. Also the chain is now really long. I think we have to follow this for almost 3000 blocks now. To go around in a loop and basically come back here. We got the next conveyors. There's a turn. I think 2 more turns and then there's another loop, and that's about where it's at the moment. Lag is still okay, so we got 30 MSPT. But you can't make this endlessly long. At some point the lag will definitely catch up. Alright, then all around here. And that's where the blocks are dropping at the moment. Oh yeah, what I also actually changed a while ago was really to squeeze out the maximum speed out of the conveyor belts. You're actually able to run this at 11 ticks cycle, but the corner pushers did not work with the old system, so just changed it actually to a simpler system. Not sure why I didn't use it in the first place. Just 2 observers like this for the corners, so that works. Also with the 11 tick cycle. One problem with the 11 tick cycle was that in the end it wouldn't fill up the slices that are missing blocks at the moment, so that's why I had to slow it down to 16 to also fill those in the end. Actually at the moment it's running at 16 tick cycle because we're actually about to hit the end of this one as well, so we just have to take like 3 more turns, actually 4, and that's where the other end of the wall is. Yep. This was about the same length. This side is now completely finished. You could also remove the conveyor belts again. Right, really good progress with the creeper perimeter now. Also the creeper farm is getting more and more finished. One thing we actually want to do now is put another layer of glass above the farm in order to protect the minecarts from lightning strike. So could happen still that a lightning would take out a minecart here and that would kind of break the farm. So those minecarts actually just distribute items to droppers below, which keep the portals alive. So every 15 seconds we shoot an item through a portal to keep the portal connections alive, and this way we get rid of all kinds of lag. And it would also help maybe if those skeleton horses would spawn at Y200. We want to put in the other glass layer, and then we'll just despawn at the very top. That would ever happen. So there's about another 100,000 glass to place. Panic already smelted it yesterday, gonna do it later today. But as I already mentioned in the last episode, now we're actually gonna work on the Mesa Quarry item sorting. Not looking forward to that, it's gonna be a lot of work. Alright, so Mesa Quarry item sorting is gonna be a huge task since we got so many of those shulker boxes filled with random items. In total, we got about 45 million items to sort. Insane. How are we gonna do this? Well, the reason why I was not looking really forward to this is that I'm not entirely sure how to do it. So I know different ways how to do it, but I'm not sure what's the best one. So this uncertainty always makes me a bit shiftless. I'm not entirely sure what's the best way to do it, but I guess we'll just get started and see how it goes. One of the first things we actually need to do is bring all of the items into one place. So this is not all the items we have from the quarry. We actually got, I think 4 of those storages. The next one should be about 1000 blocks away in that direction. We also got items stored. So at the moment we can't really automatically extract the items out of those chests because there's no hopper below. So the idea is to make one large storage where they would all feed into one output system. I'm not entirely sure how we also get the items into one place. We still have this water stream here at the top. So maybe we can already use that and yeah, transport them with the water stream. I think that direction also needs to be reversed, so it would work. So yeah, also we need to find a location where we actually want to do the sorting. I would say at the start of the Mesa Quarry, there should build up our temporary sorting system. Okay, there we got the next batch of items. It's just a lot of work. Okay, I would say we start building up the storage, and then I'll explain in creative what would be different ways to approach this item sorting problem. One of the worst things about still playing 1.12 is not being able to put chests right next to each other. Good that we have the ender pearl cannon, so I can travel back the 70,000 blocks to the main storage and grab a shulker box of trapped chests. Alright, the next temporary storage is finished. I hope we have enough double chests. If not, we can still expand it there in the back. Right, so all the chests are basically hooked up to this hopper line in the end then. And then we just need to hook it up to our sorting system. 2 days later, all the items have been brought over from the 4 storages at the Mesa Quarry area and now stored here. It's crazy how many those are. Okay, so the way we did it, we just built a little dropper elevator here for each storage and hooked up like a hopper line to it. And yeah, Sky has removed the chests already, but we just placed basically hoppers below those chests, waited for them to empty, removed the chests, and added the next hopper line under the next row of chests. Yeah, and did it for all the storages, and over the course of a couple of hours, now we got all the items here. Okay, now we need to sort out the sorting system. Alright, creative world. So before we start sorting, we actually need to know what we're sorting and how many of those. So luckily, somebody on Discord almost 1.5 years ago asked me what the Mesa Quarry will actually mine, and I wrote a list for him. And yeah, good that Discord has such a nice search function. I was able to find that list again. So the way I got those numbers was just checking with MC edit over the whole terrain before the Mesa Quarry mined it all. Okay, so we got some interesting numbers. So we mined 85 million stone, but those got destroyed immediately. Then we got approximately 5 million of the rare stone types. It's kind of interesting that andesite seems more common than diorite, but it could be just random. Next, then we got 3 million dirt, 600k gold ore, 700k iron ore, 1.3 million coal ore. Then just small amounts of lapis ore as well, 250k sandstone, moss stone from dungeons, 9k clay. Then, yeah, the main reason why we actually built the quarry was the terracotta. We got 1 million white terracotta, 5.6 million orange, 3.8 million yellow, 500,000 light gray, about 1 million brown and red, and 6 million normal terracotta. Then also several other blocks, like we actually mined 700 bone blocks in skeleton, well, no, not skeleton, fossil form, and various other items. And those are actually quite a problem. For example, we had a couple of villages along the way. We got all different kinds of log types and plank types, even stairs, etc. So yeah, we got a ton of random items in there. Mine shafts, we got dark oak planks from the mine shafts in a Mesa Quarry. There's a lot of different item types that are below 1,000 items. Also, we got logs from the trees that were mined, and yeah, just a lot of different stuff there. Okay, so how do we approach this now? There are 3 ways how I could imagine we could sort those items. They all have some pros and cons, and since I find this quite interesting, I'm going to discuss all of them. In case you also have an idea that is different from mine, please let me know in the comments. Alright, so the first method would have the advantage that it's super simple, but it's also quite slow. This would be just to have, some kind of a machine that empties all the boxes and runs them over standard item filters. So you would have an item filter for like the main types, and like the rest, like the bone blocks and the planks and whatever, would just go into a mixed shulker box filler again, that we can then just put into the main storage where it's getting sorted. Okay, the disadvantage of the system is that it's super slow. So it's basically limited by hopper speed, since you can't dispense more items than those hoppers here can process. So that's 9,000 items per hour. Given that we have like about 40 million items, this would take longer than half a year. Of course, we actually had those Mesa Quarry items sitting around for longer than a year now, so if you built up the simple system a while ago, it would have been done by now. But I don't want to wait another half a year, so this is, yeah, not the best option at the moment. So I want something that's fast. Of course, you could also use multiple droppers maybe in a water stream to dispense more items, but then you risk that some of the hoppers won't pick up the items because you get more from one item type, because like the items are not equally distributed. So then we would need to deal with items that are not getting picked up and maybe run everything through system a second time. So yeah, that's also limited how much you can actually speed this up. So the approach of the simple item filters doesn't seem like the best one. Now approach number 2. So here we would take all of those boxes with different item types in it and split it up into multiple shulker boxes. So we would make a machine that takes out all the red terracotta, puts them into one box, then takes out all the andesite, puts it into a box, etc. Our server member Pella actually made such a machine a while ago. I'm checking out his world download at the moment. You can also try it out. So I prepared everything. Just gonna throw one of those boxes here into the shulker box splitter. And now dispense the box and fill it up with one single item type at a time. So here you can see the box at the bottom. Put all the white concrete in it, next the orange concrete, etc. And at the end you would end up with a lot of boxes that are filled up with just one single item type. The system we made was actually quite compact for what it does, because it's quite complicated. It's too wide in total. And the big advantage of the system here is that we can actually do this with multiple boxes at the same time. So we're not kind of limited by this hopper speed, since we could just build a second system. And each of this system is basically hopper speed. So here we got 4 modules, so it'll be 4 times hopper speed. If you have 50 of those, then we have 50 times hopper speed. And in the end, you would just need to sort those boxes here, which is actually quite simple. You can easily sort those boxes just by taking out one item out of the box and running it over a dropper line and sort them depending on the item type you get there. You can actually also check this out. We have such a system already on the server, which we used for the witch farm storage. I quickly went to the survival copy server, so we can check this out real quick in spectator mode. So this is the witch farm storage, you might notice from an earlier episode. So here we take the shulker boxes that come from our witch farms, take out one single item out of the shulker box, and then run it over the dropper line. There's just a normal item filter below. And in case we get an item trickling through, then we also stop like the shulker box from going through the lower dropper line. And then, the items get sorted accordingly. And that would be basically the next step. So after we built the shulker box splitter, we would run everything over the shulker box sorter here. But that's not all. We actually need a third system in order to merge those boxes again, because nobody wants tons of those partially filled shulker boxes really. So we would need some system where we would empty those boxes again, the partially filled ones, and put all the items into one shulker box until it's completely filled up. And depending on how fast we actually split the boxes, we also have to make more or less powerful mergers. For example, the item type we get the most of, like the normal terracotta, is 6.1 million terracotta in total. If you would actually sort or split the shulker box with 500,000 items per hour, then we probably will get about maybe 60-70,000 terracotta per hour. So we would need to make some really powerful shulker box merger again. This would be quite a lot of effort. It's also like the main disadvantage of this system here, that it requires quite a lot of effort. And there's also other downsides. We need really a ton of empty shulker boxes for this, as would especially be a problem with all of those item types we just get a couple of, like those bone blocks, oak stairs from the village we mined, the quarry, etc. So we would end up with thousands upon thousands of shulker boxes that only have one item or just a handful of items in it, which is also not nice. Okay, so we have alternative number 1. Very slow, but simple to make and low effort. Then alternative number 2 can be super fast, very complicated, lots of effort, and also smaller issues like how they're gonna do with those thousands of boxes that don't have like a single item in it. And we would also need to supply it with tons of empty boxes in the first place, which we don't have at the moment. So I was discussing this with the other SciCrafters, and during the discussion, I actually had another idea how we can do it. And the more I was discussing it, the more I became convinced that that is actually the best way to do it. So at the beginning of the episode, I said I was very uncertain. That's why I was not looking forward to doing it. Now exactly how to do it, and now I'm also really fired up to do this now. Okay, I want to show you the third alternative. The idea is, instead of putting the items into water stream or line of hoppers, we basically have the problem that only one of the hoppers, the filters, is active at the same time. That we place the shulker boxes directly on top of the item filters and cycle it through. So we got the full box, then we empty it here with this filter, and we get all the yellow terracotta out. Then we break the box and put it on top of the next item filter and always cycle through. And this way, we can speed this up quite a lot because the multiple hoppers are active at the same time, and the speed is kind of limited by the most common item we got in the box. So let's say we got 20% andesite in there, then we could run the system theoretically at 5 times hopper speed, because, well, the limiting factor is kind of the filter where the shulker box stays the longest. So this would work really well in our case, since we got so many different items and none of the item types, since we sorted out the stone, would be like dominating. Like none of those is above 20%. We could also parallelize this and have multiple item filters right next to each other, and run multiple boxes over separate lines. This would also have the advantage that we can adjust the amount of filters we need. For example, we built this 5 times next to each other. We got one filter for all the items where we got like more than 1 million items, and then in the end we can just take the output from those 5 lines and merge it into one system and have item filters for the rest of the items. So we got a lot of shulker boxes that are almost completely empty, just got those item types, we just got a little bit left, and set it over extra filter for those. So we don't need to build like every filter multiple times, only a couple. This way, maybe if we built this 5 times, we could reach a speed of maybe 250,000 items per hour, which in our case, well, we could sort all the items in 1 week, which is significantly faster than over half a year, which method 1 would require. And it's also not that much effort, to be honest. So we need like maybe 50 item filters here, then 10 item filters there, and that's about it. So 60 item filters in total, and of course the system to break the boxes and whatnot. That's definitely going to be a bit more effort than just the item filter, of course. While I was busy making another video, To Know To Name took over and built up the whole system for us. So that's how it's gonna look like in the end. One huge redstone and hopper mess. But this can sort at about 250,000 items per hour. Alright, so maybe let's take a look at the 2 wide slice that does what I was talking about earlier. So here we got the box with the items incoming. As soon as an item would reach the dispenser, go in there. Then we got this comparator here in the back, and we would activate the dispenser to dispense the box. Then it's dispensed directly on top of the item filter here. And depending if you have items going through the item filter or not, we also need to break the box at some point. So if we don't have any items going through it, then we break the box immediately again. So it's just picked up by the hopper over here, and then via this little drop elevator brought up again, and here would be the next dispenser. So in case we got items going through it, we also picked it up with the item filter redstone, and as soon as the signal or as the item flow stops, then we also break the box. Alright, then we also need to take into consideration that like one of the filters, so the next module, maybe it's still busy and we can't put in any more items into the system. So that's why we also got a comparator here slowing down the hopper here on the side. So this is quite nice. Alright, so this is pretty much the system. It's pretty good. It's too wide. It's quite compact. There's a lot of redstone here on top, since it's not getting activated all the time. It's fine. In total, the system is also not really laggy. So while it was running, I think it was like 3 or 4 MSPT, just mostly caused by the amount of hoppers. But apart from that, there's like almost no extra lag. So let's take a quick look at it. Here we have the main filter module. This is for the item types we got a ton of. So everything you got more than 1 million. At the bottom, of course, we also got shulker box fillers. We have it right here. And then all the filled shulker boxes just are sent to this storage here. To name, actually build it up according to the amount of items we will get in the end. There's a couple we got like 5-6 million of. And this is for the coal, we only got 1 million of. Alright, yeah, that storage is actually quite generous. Okay, and yeah, next door, all the partially filled boxes would go into this filter system here for the items with less than 1 million. And then all the leftover items, like those stairs or planks I was talking about earlier, or the fences from the mine shafts, that would just go into, would just get emptied here again, and would go into another mixed item shulker box filler. Tuno was actually running the system, testing the system. So this is like the leftover items in here, and yeah, they would end up in those chests here. I think the only thing is missing at the moment would be some kind of a storage for the secondary filter. And apart from that, this is actually ready to be built up. To end the episode, let's also check out some progress in survival. We're gonna build the sorting system hopefully in the next episode. Yeah, so the wall is finished. Finally. Took quite a long time. And there's also not much to say about it. Finally it's done. We already started removing the machines or the conveyor belts again. Yeah, that's it. We also built the platform here that should protect the minecarts from being hit by lightning strike and taken out. So that's also good. We actually did not know about the snow beforehand. So now, since this is an extreme hills biome, got some snow layers on top of the glass. It won't show up on the map, by the way. And it also won't raise like the height. So this has no influence on the mob spawning, at least in 1.12. We actually built this platform at Y200. So in case the creeper farm maybe works in 1.14, or if we ever update, maybe 1.16, then we can just remove the platform. Because at the moment, unlike in 1.12, any block would reduce the rates, while only opaque blocks in 1.12 reduce the rates. So this is fine. Awesome, so we're getting closer and closer to finally starting this. Technically, we could actually start the farm. We just don't have a storage yet, and the nether also requires some love. Alright, so yeah, that's it. Next episode, building the sorting system, but we probably also need to take care of getting more shulker boxes soon. Oreo was already annoying me about it. I think we're almost out of shulker boxes, empty ones. So we have to dupe some more. Alright, thanks guys for watching. See you in the next episode. Bye bye.